Hello students, Assalamu alaikum. Carrying forward, the chapter is matter around us pure. Today we are going to discuss an important topic, that is the pure substances. In the previous lecture we discussed that matter on the basis of its composition, on the basis of what substances are present in matter, what is its composition. The matter, it can be categorized into two types: pure substances and impure substances. Pure substances, they include the elements and compounds, and impure substances, they include the mixtures. Why pure substances can be considered as pure, we have discussed, and what are impure substances, we have discussed. Now today we are going to discuss the elements and compounds which are included in pure substances. Elements. What are elements? Elements are those substances which are made up of same type of atoms. Those substances which are made up of same type of atoms, these are called as elements. So, elements, they are made up of only one type of particles, and these particles, when they combine together, they form the elements. So, element, it's a pure substance because it is made up of only one type of atom. What are the examples of these elements? There are more than 118 elements which have been discovered so far. Out of these 118 elements, most of the elements, they are solids. Most of the elements, they are in solid form. There are certain elements, after 12 or 13, more than 12 or 13 elements, which are in the form of liquids. And there are certain elements which are in the form of gases. Sorry, the elements which are in the form of liquids, there are almost two elements, that is bromine and mercury, and there are more than 12 elements which are in the form of gases. So mostly the elements, they are in the form of solids, some are in the form of liquids, and some are in the form of gases. Now these elements, they have different properties, they have different compositions, and their chemical properties, their physical properties, they are different. As discussed earlier, in the first lecture regarding matter is matter around us pure, I told you that the substances which we call as pure substances, they are made up of only one type of atom or one type of molecule, and These atoms and molecules, they cannot be separated, they cannot be isolated by means of simple physical or chemical processes. For example, here hydrogen is an element, and hydrogen, it is made up of only hydrogen atoms. This element hydrogen, it is made up of only hydrogen atoms, and these hydrogen atoms, they cannot be separated. Hydrogen atoms cannot be separated by the use of certain simple physical processes. So this is a pure substance. Now, on the basis of their physical properties, these more than 118 elements as discussed, they can be categorized into three types. All the elements which have been discovered so far, whether these are naturally occurring or these are artificial or synthetic, because there are certain elements which have been synthesized which are not naturally occurring, whether these are naturally occurring or these are synthetic. These all elements, on the basis of their physical properties, all the elements, they can be categorized into three types. Number first is metals. Number second, non-metals. And number third, metalloids. All the elements which have been discovered so far, on the basis of their physical properties, all these elements, they may be categorized or grouped into three categories: metals, non-metals, and metalloids. When we look at the position of these elements on the periodic table, and we see the periodic table, we see that these metals, their location, their position on the periodic table, they are on the extreme left side of the periodic table. Metals have been positioned on the left side of the periodic table. Non-metals, on the other hand, they are on the right side of the periodic table. And the metalloids, these are in between the metals and non-metals. Once again, metals in the periodic table, the metals are placed on the left side, non-metals are placed on the right side, and metalloids are placed in between metals and non-metals. What are the properties of metals, non-metals, and metalloids? When we discuss these, we then can understand why these are present on left side, why these are present on right side, and why the metalloids have been placed between metals and non-metals. So, physical properties of metals. Firstly, I am writing here the definition of metals. After that, we will discuss their physical properties. Metals are those substances which lose electrons and hence become electropositive. Metals are those substances which lose electrons and hence become electropositive. So metals, they are electropositive in nature. That means they are not electrically neutral, they are electrically charged particles and their charge is positive. Examples of the metals, they include the iron, they include the copper, aluminum, mercury, platinum, tin, gold, silver, etc. These are some of the examples of metals: iron, copper, aluminum, mercury, platinum, tin, gold, silver, etc. All these metals, they are electropositive in nature because they lose the electrons and hence they become electropositive in nature. When an atom, it loses the electrons, it becomes electropositive in nature. So all these metals, they are electropositive in nature. Now what are their physical properties? Physical properties of metals. Number first, physical property of the metals. Metals normally, generally metals, they are solids. Metals are solids at room temperature. All the metals, they are solids at room temperature except mercury. So the metals, they are solids at room temperature except mercury, because mercury, it is the metal, but it is not solid at room temperature. At room temperature, mercury exists in the form of liquid. So this is only one exception. Number second, metals have a shiny surface. Metals, they have a shiny surface, or we can say in more technical language that these metals, they are lustrous. Metals are lustrous in nature. Lustrous means they have a shiny surface, or we can say that metals, they have a metallic luster. Luster means the shine. So they are lustrous in nature, that means they have a shiny surface. Number third property of metals, they are ductile in nature. They are ductile. What does this ductility mean? What is ductile? That means these metals, they can be drawn into wires. Metals can be drawn into thin wires. So this property of metals, it is called ductility. So we can say that metals, they are ductile in nature. You must have seen in your homes that we have copper wires. Copper is a metal and there are thin wires of copper present in our homes. So these thin wires, they are made up of copper and copper is a metal. So these metals, they can be drawn into thin wires. This property is called as the ductility. So they are ductile in nature. Number 4, malleable. Metals are malleable in nature. What is malleability? Malleability means the metals, they can be drawn into thin sheets. Metals, they can be beaten into thin sheets. So when we beat them, when we beat the metals, they form the shape of thin sheets. So this property is called malleability. So all the metals, they can be drawn into thin sheets. Examples are the aluminum foils. We see the iron sheets, the tin sheets. These are very thin. So this property of metals is called malleability. So they can be beaten into thin sheets. This is called malleability. Number 5. Metals are very hard. Metals are very hard. And you see the copper, gold, iron, tin, they are very hard. But the exception is the mercury. Metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. Metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. That means the metals, they can conduct electricity, they can conduct heat. So they are used as conductors. In our homes, we see different types of electrical equipments which need electrical supply. So these appliances, electrical appliances, they are fitted with conductors made up of the metals. The most commonly used metal as conductor is copper. So they are good conductors of heat and electricity. One more property, they are sonorous. Metals are sonorous. What is sonorous? That means the metals, when they are beaten, they produce a loud sound. So the loud production of this loud sound, this we call as sonorous. So metals, they are sonorous in nature. We see the bells. The bells are always made up of metals. When we beat the bell, it produces a loud sound. So metals, they are sonorous in nature. They have high density and high melting points. The metals, they have very high melting points. Melting point is the temperature at which a solid is converted into liquid or the temperature at which a solid melts. They have very high melting points. They have very high boiling points and their density is very high. These are some of the main points or some of the main properties of metals. Now coming on to next, non-metals. Non-metals. Non-metals are those substances which are electronegative in nature. How do they become electronegative? By by gaining electron. So metals are those substances which gain electrons and hence become Non-metals are those substances which gain electrons. Unlike metals, metals lose electrons, while as non-metals they gain electrons, and these non-metals they are electronegative in nature. How do they become electronegative? When an element it gains electrons, there are now extra electrons present, so this is reason for their electronegativity. So non-metals they are electronegative in nature. Why? Because they gain electrons, and non-metals they are, as discussed earlier, they are present on the right side of the periodic table. Now the physical properties of non-metals. Physical properties of non-metals. The physical properties of non-metals, they are opposite to metals. First physical property, the non-metals, they may be solid, they may be liquid in the form of liquid, or they may be in the form of gases. So non-metals, they may be solids, they may be liquids, or they may be gases. For example, solids. Carbon is a non-metal, which is in the form of solid. In the same way, bromine is a non-metal, which is in the form of liquid. And oxygen is a non-metal, which is in the form of gas. So, non-metals, they may be solids, they may be liquids, or they may be in the form of gases. Second physical properties, non-metals, they are not ductile. Non-metals are not ductile. Metals are ductile, that is, they can be beaten or drawn into thin wires, while as these non-metals, they are not ductile, they are brittle. They are soft in nature. Brittle means which can be easily broken down, or soft. So non-metals, they are not ductile, they cannot be drawn into thin wires. They are brittle in nature, they are soft in nature. Third, they are not malleable. Non-metals are not malleable, that means they cannot be beaten into thin sheets. They are not sonorous, that means they do not produce loud sounds. Number 5, they are bad conductors of heat and electricity. Non-metals, they are bad conductors of heat and electricity. That means they do not conduct heat, they do not conduct electricity, so they are not used in electrical appliances. Non-metals have low melting points or boiling points. As compared to metals, the non-metals, they have low melting points, they have low boiling points. Non-metals have low density. Their density is not high as compared to metals, and also the non-metals, they are soft in nature, sometimes they are colored, sometimes they are dull in nature. So these are some of the physical properties of non-metals. You see here that the physical properties of non-metals, they are opposite to that of metals. The examples of the non-metals, they include carbon, oxygen, chlorine, bromine, sulfur, iodine, etc. These are some of the examples of non-metals: carbon, oxygen, chlorine, bromine, sulfur, iodine, etc. Look at the position of these non-metals in the periodic table. You will clearly see that they are present on the right side of the periodic table. Metalloids. What are metalloids? Metalloids are those substances which are in between the metals and non-metals. That means their properties, they are in between, intermediate between the metals and the non-metals. You see, on one hand we have metals which are very hard, on other hand we have non-metals which are soft. Metalloids, they are neither hard nor soft. On one hand, we have the metals, which are good conductors of electricity, while as non-metals are bad conductors of electricity. And these metalloids, they are semiconductors. Semiconductors. So metalloids, they are neither good conductors of electricity nor bad conductors of electricity. They are semiconductors. The examples of the metalloids, they include the silicon, the germanium, silicon and germanium. These are the examples of non-metalloids, and their properties, their physical properties, they are in between the metals and non-metals. Like I have discussed that metals are good conductors, non-metals are bad conductors, while as these are semiconductors in nature. So their properties, they are in between. Regarding their position in the periodic table, they are in between the metals and non-metals. Why their position is in between metals and non-metals in the periodic table? Because of their properties. The position of elements in the periodic table, it is based on the properties, physical properties and the chemical properties. The properties of metalloids are in between metals and non-metals, so they are placed in between the metals and the non-metals, so these are metalloids. Another example of the pure substances is compounds. Elements are made up of only one type of atoms, but compounds, these are the substances which are made up of two or more than two different atoms. The substances which are made up of two or more than two different atoms, these substances are called as compounds, and the atoms, these atoms, different atoms, they are linked together chemically, not physically. This is important, that the two or more than two different atoms, when they are combined together chemically, then they form the compound. So compounds are those substances which are made up of two or more than two different atoms which are linked chemically. Examples of the compounds is carbon dioxide, water, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, magnesium oxide, sulfur dioxide. You see that in these examples, carbon dioxide